Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the JLJ podcast. It's your boy Jack Wemery, my hero man JVK.
How's it going, guys?
Also here with Matho.
G'day.
And guys, what a final series we have underway. One of the best final series we've had in a very long time. And we're going to go in depth on all the games, and then we'll give you a quick preview of the two semi-finals. So first, Matho, kick us off with the Thursday night game, Geelong versus Port.
Yeah, Geelong versus Port. But before that, Jacko, I know this is kind of got all of our teams involved. VK, what are your thoughts on Adam Sard and Joe Danaher nominating Carlton and Brisbane respectively?
I expected it. I don't know about Sard, but from a few weeks ago, I expected Sard. I didn't really care where he went. Carlton, I'm fine with. Don't really care, to be completely honest. If they don't want to be at the club, then no point in keeping. I think that's a lot of the problems we had in the last couple of years with like Danaher and Fantasia not wanting to be at the club, which definitely declines the morale, I would say, of the club. And yeah, just get rid of them if they don't want to play for the club. We're going to have some good draft picks. By the looks of things, we've already got number 6, and we should get 2 good draft picks for those 2 players as well. So, I'm not angry about it, actually, because I knew Jolly was going. Sard, he's arguably our top 3 best player, top 5 best player, but we got to do something, and they're doing something. I wouldn't mind getting some draft picks. So I'm not angry, to be honest with you.
I get you. Jack, are you happy with big boy Joey Danaher?
As long as Danaher stay fit, he'll be fine.
It's a big if. Big if. That's what we said. If he stayed fit for us, it'd be awesome. But
yeah. Well, I know I'm definitely happy with Sard.
Yeah,
I know,
that's the best one.
Yeah.
The outgoing Cade Simpson obviously probably wasn't at his best in his last few years, but it's a good replacement.
Yeah.
Just depends if Dodoro is going to be willing to get a trade done. He's not the easiest to deal with in the trade period, so it should be very, very interesting.
Let's talk about the finals footies now, Matho.
Yeah. All right. Let me just get it up here. Yeah. Tough game of footy, wasn't it?
It was.
Jacko, I'm just reading your little dot points here.
Mm-hmm.
But do you reckon Geelong has missed their chance?
Yeah, well, obviously missing a lot of chances. Hawkins, 0 goals, 5. Stanley missed one early in the first quarter as well. So, if they kicked straight, it would have been a very different story, I think.
Shows how important Hawkins is to that Cat side. I think I said that he was the second most valuable player this year, behind Lachie Neale for the whole season. And if he kicks straight, if he kicks forward, then they win that game. Mm-hmm. So I think it's the big Tom Hawkins factor there for their next game. If he kicks 4 goals, they win for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it should be a good game. Geelong Collingwood.
Mm-hmm.
Port's mid. Talk about Port's mid, boys. What do we reckon? Do you reckon Rockcliffe, Wines was big? Travis Boak again big as well. Powell Pepper was a standout for him as well.
Mm-hmm.
The young lads as well. I know Dersma got cleaned up and come off with a concussion, but he was big.
Yeah.
Rosie was good. I think they're just an all round good side, and I think now with the prelims at obviously Port Adelaide and Brisbane's home, I can see a Port Adelaide Brisbane grand final.
Yeah, it'd be very tough, of course. Port Adelaide still after versus the Richmond St Kilda, so that'll be a good game there. But Port Adelaide really strong, and their young players are probably going to keep them there for the next probably 5 years to come. They'll be up there and about.
Yeah, I was very impressed with Butter's performance this week. It was very interesting him making the Australian squad. A lot of people were a bit iffy on that, but I thought he played really well. And also, I've been watching Boak all year. Take that back. I haven't watched too much of Boak this year. I've just looked at his stats. So I really looked at him closely in this game to see if all this hype about him having an amazing year. I looked at the stats again, not as big stats as everyone else, but the impact he makes on that side is huge. And with their midfield, it's just such a strong midfield. And it's a midfield that can really combat Geelong's midfield quite well, I reckon.
It's really evenly spread, isn't it? The young players can use the ball really well, and then you've got Powell Pepper, Ollie Wines in there and getting it. It's a really well spread midfield, I think.
Yeah.
hence the domination in there.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Geelong's also fielded the oldest finals team. So do you reckon, obviously they haven't had the most experience, or the best experience in finals as of late. I think they're going out in straight sets last year, obviously.
4 wins out of the last 16.
Exactly. So do you reckon they need some younger players in there to brighten up the finals, as some would say?
Yeah, well, this was their year to win it. It's all downhill from here now. You know, as I said, oldest ever finals team to play. You know, Ablett's no good anymore. Taylor's no good anymore. Selwood's getting old. Hawkins getting old. You know, they're just really struggling. And they've got no star young players. Only probably best young players, Parfitt, and he's very inconsistent. So, a lot of troubling things.
Is Scott under pressure?
No,
Do you think if they go out straight sets again?
no.
I don't think so, because I think he's kept them a competitive side for a very, very long time. You can easily say that Geelong may be on the down, what's it called? Downhill. What you said, Jacko? I don't know if that was
On the
English.
decline.
Decline. That's a better word. Lost all my brain cells from the gut today.
Mhm.
But no,
Didn't we all?
they're all on the. I think they are on the decline. But in saying that, Geelong have always been a competitive side since we've been around. Really, they've
True.
always been up the top end of the table. Depends if it's finals or not. I think they missed it a 3 or 4 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the academy they've got down in Geelong, I know that there's rumours going around that Carlton are trading pick 7 for 13 and 17 or something like that, because Geelong have 2 very, very good players in the top 10 from their academy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think similar to Sydney with their academy, I think they may be on the decline, but their turnover from old players to young players is very good. We've seen with Brian Myers, who's been a big inclusion. Who else has been good for them? Can't think of the name.
I like
Can't think
Buse.
Buse as well. Can't think of them off the top of my head, but they've got an evenly spread side, I think, and I don't think that Chris Scott is in trouble, and I think that they'll be back up the top very soon.
And of course, quickly, our man Gary Rowan averages 5.5 disposals in finals. Got 5 this week. Worst finals player to ever touch the grass.
Consistent. You got to give it to the man. He's consistent.
Exactly.
He's
Consistently shit in finals.
Yeah.
Consistently it's got to go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fast player, and he's all right when he's
useless in the finals.
He's playing good, but yeah, he's useless in finals.
Mm-hmm. Now, move on to the Brisbane versus Richmond game. Game of the year by far. Game of the last 10 years by far. Absolutely outstanding from the Brisbane boys.
Game of the past 10 years.
Game of the past 10 years, absolutely.
The Collingwood West Coast game was a better game this round.
No, it doesn't matter. Brisbane won. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, for you, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Jacko's ranking. There we go.
There you go, yeah. Of course, first finals win since 2009 against Carlton, which that was a great win as well. And then winning.
Do you remember that, Jacko?
I do remember that, actually. Big Daniel Bradshaw took the piss in the last quarter. And 15-game losing streak, the Brisbane have knocked out the Richmond Tigers. So that was massive just for Brisbane confidence. As all the boys say, when Chris Fagan first walked through the doors, they put up a list of every single club that they hadn't beaten on the wall and went ticking them off every time they beat one. Richmond was the last one there to beat, and we beat them in the final. So, you know, big for us boys. You know, and a lot of people said Brisbane played like Richmond with Brisbane pressure. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah.
I can agree on that, yeah. 100%.
Immaculate pressure. I think that's the way to beat Richmond by the looks of things. Other teams going to have to just watch that. And Brisbane's pressure was just amazing.
Yeah. I think definitely your forward line pressure, once it went into the forward 50, it was very, very hard to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, everyone was tackling well. Of course, Charlie Cameron had a massive game. Grimes has had the better of him for the last 2 years. You can say that easily. And but it was, you know, him getting up the ground, forcing Grimes. Grimes had no impact at all on the game. And Dylan Grimes is their second most important player. Dustin Martin's number one, then Grimes. And Grimes had no impact on that game. And, Cameron was great. McCluggage as well, having 21 touches, kicking that winner. If only he could kick straight, it'll be all Australian by far, but, lucky he got that last one. And, of course, as well, Brisbane's player Daniel Rich got the 10 coaches' votes, leading the way in the Gary Ayres medal. So,
love to see it.
You do love to see best kick in the competition, better than Caleb Daniel. Caleb Daniel couldn't kick that first goal. Caleb Daniel couldn't kick that first goal. He couldn't. So it's quite simply a fact. But I guess the big thing coming from a Richmond point of view, the Richmond's discipline is what let them down.
Yeah. I think 2 goals in the first quarter kind of gave you momentum. I know Shea Bolton gave away a 50, I believe. And I can't remember the second 50, but their discipline was a big factor, Jacko.
Especially when you're down, their discipline just goes up when they're losing. They're not used to losing. And Jacko, I just want to say one thing about Brisbane. Oscar McInerney, I tell you what, he's a
superstar.
He's so impressive. What he does, not just the hit out, but the other taps he does around the ground. Balls bouncing up, does a little tap forward. His 1%ers are awesome. I really, really like Oscar McInerney.
Love the big O. Absolutely
He's been very impressive.
Coaching at the Brisbane Lions. One of the most improved players in the competition, in my opinion. From last year being terrible to this year, I would put him in the top 10 best ruckman in the competition.
Yeah.
So, absolutely fantastic. It's pretty funny seeing the man who was in jail only a couple of years ago giving away that second 50-metre penalty.
That's what it was.
Bolton gave away 2 of them. He gave away the other one. Gave Lachie Neale a 100-metre penalty, which I haven't seen in a long, long time, being honest.
Lachie Neale, first half. Where was he, Jacko?
Right on half-time. That's where he was.
Right on half-time.
Right on half-time. Standing up where he needed. And also, lads, Bolton may have given away 2 50-metre penalties, but he almost kicked the goal of the year.
Yeah, I thought it was in. I was like, that is an incredible goal, but he didn't celebrate after he kicked it. So you're thinking there must be something going on there. Yeah.
Yeah. It was interesting that the umpire didn't review it. Of course, went to the soft review, which happens after every single goal that is kicked, and they picked it up there. Thanks for the decision review system, because I think Brisbane would have gone on and lost that game if that one.
That's a momentum switch right there.
Absolutely.
In saying that though, as well, you mentioned the no celebration from Shea Bolton, VK. In the Port Geelong game, I believe, I can't remember who it was, got it out the pack and a quick snap, and it's gone over Hamish Hartlett just, I reckon, 5 metres above the square. He's jumped to touch it and he's missed it, and they've still reviewed it. But the look on his face and his body language suggested that he was nowhere near touching it. And obviously, you're not going to believe the player if they touch it or if they don't touch it, and you'd go ahead with the review. But it was quite a lengthy review as well. I think, and Hamish Hartlett's body language of turning around, going back to the centre bounce, ready to go again. I think that was almost a dead giveaway that he knew.
Yeah, that one's a weird one. Usually it'd be opposite way around, then you have to do it. But that was definitely a weird one.
Yeah. But yeah, great result for Brisbane. Very exciting culture down in Brisbane, as they showed Footy Classified on Monday night. There was 7 Brisbane players in that team that were under the age of 23. Yeah. So, very exciting. And, 4 or 5 of them are going to be absolute superstars. So, very exciting stuff for Brisbane. Now, VK, moving on to your boy St Kilda and the Dog.
The Saints, you love to see a bit of a prediction going well from the start of year predictions that they're going to do this well. First final win since 2011 for the Saints. Before we go into the Paddy Ryder injury, which, might get emotional on the video right now, Caleb Daniel had a very weird game for me. He got all the stats. He looked great, but he got absolutely dominated in that first second quarter by Geary, in my opinion. Geary got best on ground for his job, somehow got the best on ground over Paddy Ryder. But what are your thoughts on Daniel's game? His second half was great, but he didn't. But I think Geary's impact was bigger than what Daniel's was for them to get the win for the Saints.
Yeah, as I say, Caleb Daniel is one of the worst defenders in the league. His actual defensive epic is so poor because he's so small and so weak. I back nearly every player in the AFL beating in a one-on-one. He's just bad at defending, and he always leaves his man to try and go
years ago.
So
I think a year, it would have been a year ago against Jared Roughead, one-on-one in the goal square. He was never going to win that one-on-one matchup with Jared Roughead. He's about 2 foot taller than him, so I think he needs to change his role. He's definitely not a defender because he's good off the half back line, don't get me wrong, and he's a very good kick, and his disposal efficiency is very, very, very good. But like Jacko says, he's one of the worst defenders in the league, and that's purely based on his height, I believe.
He's weak.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So I was watching the game and I see Paddy Ryder upset on the bench. I thought they just took him off, and then I see him crying. And no, I'm not going to lie to you, I got very emotional. A lot of Essendon supporters would have felt the same because of a lot of people's love for Paddy Ryder. See, it's a love-hate between the Essendon supporters. Quarter, one of our mates, shout out to Quarter, hates Paddy Ryder, and I think it's a bit of a disgrace for him, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, it was very, very devastating to see Paddy Ryder after around 250 games finally get his first finals win, and was best on ground and St Kilda's most important player for that game. And I think because of his injury, they have no chance against Richmond. I didn't think they were going to win with him, but they had a slight chance because their ruckmans would have dominated them. But what are you guys' thoughts on the Paddy Ryder situation and their chances of winning their game against Richmond without Paddy?
I think Paddy Ryder is a massive, massive out. Like you said, he won the game for them on Saturday. But I also think Jake Carlisle's not a massive out, but
It's pretty big.
That's what I was going to. It's not a massive out, but he's a big defender for them, and he's a key. He's cemented his spot in that side. So it's going to be hard to replace him this week, and especially with Richmond's forward line, I think it will be very, very hard for St Kilda to combat that. But Ben Long as well, not that he's has a massive influence, but I know he's appealing his tribunal suspension tonight. So I don't know when this is going to.
Deserves a week. Really,
yeah. I'd love him to get off to give St Kilda an extra chance to get it, because I think he is a good player, an underrated player. That doesn't get spoken about a lot, but yeah, what he did, I would say, if McRae gets concussed, he's out for 4 weeks. So yeah, just lucky McRae got up and kept playing. But yeah, I think it's a week every day.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to get a week and definitely deserves a week. 21 contested marks for the Saints, the most of any club this season. They dominated around the ground. I don't know how that will go though against Richmond, like Matho said before, with Carlisle out against Lynch and Rewald, and with Paddy Ryder out, who can take a mark also as a ruckman. And also the Bulldogs last quarter, it was just how good is this final series so far? Only 3 points it was in the end. It was a massive push from the Doggies. I thought they were going to win in the end there, but St Kilda came on top. Bulldogs, I don't know where they go from here. I think you guys agree their forward line really is the thing that needs to step up if they want to be better next season.
Yeah.
They've got it on paper, that's for sure. Aaron Norton's looking good. Josh Bruce, he kicked the first goal of the game and then went missing.
He's
so bad
for the rest of the game.
How he still gets the game.
Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly. On paper they are there, I think, but they just don't perform. They simply just don't perform.
Yeah, I think their midfield's on paper. McRae, Bond, Hunter, Libba, Smith, Dunkley. Yeah, exactly. They got the best midfield on paper. But, Tim English, very inconsistent. And, of course, their
struggles.
Their forward line is one of the worst in the competition. Aaron Norton came into it late in the game, a couple of good contested marks, but up until then, he had 2 touches. So
yeah, exactly.
Too little, too late, I reckon. Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
So West Coast, Collingwood, Matho, for me, one of the best games I've seen in a long, long time. I wasn't happy about it, obviously, but for a mutual point of view, if you're watching, you didn't hate Collingwood
Mhm.
somehow without being a Collingwood supporter, then it would have been such a good watch. Mother,
What's this?
Talk about Collingwood versus West Coast.
you're up, mate.
Oh, well, VK just started doing it, so I thought VK was going
Oh.
through it.
No. Just giving you a bit of a segue.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, West Coast Collingwood. Best game of the year.
Hmm.
Yeah, probably.
Best game of the last decade.
No.
It's up there, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Collingwood did prove everyone wrong, that's for sure. Their injuries on paper, their side did not look up to it, and they did kind of hit it from the very start. They didn't really miss a beat all game. Very, very strong. What are your lads' thoughts on Collingwood's performance?
Yeah, it was really good, of course. First time since round 3 that they've kicked 12 goals. So that was always their issue coming to the finals, of their inability to score. But of course, the man that we hate to talk about, Mason Cox, absolutely on fire in that first quarter. Made Tom Barras look stupid, really.
He did.
It's like
He
half
really
his
did.
size, but yeah, like if Coxie does that, and it's very frustrating because you want to hate him, and then he comes out in one's finals game in the first quarter, and you're just sitting back and watching. This I guess this is why everyone loves him so much. Wasn't actually that arrogant after kicking his 3. I didn't think.
What do you
I think
mean? What, did he not shush the
no, he
crowd?
was.
He shushed the
I
crowd.
think he
after.
could have
did.
been more arrogant though. I reckon that's more fair enough than he's shushing earlier in the season though.
You can't
I think he's done nothing in his career. Good on him for stepping up in 2 finals. Good on him not taking that away from him.
Pretty good game
Right.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an important game to step up, and so he should step up. But he should do that every single week.
Mm.
He's a key forward for Collingwood. He's a key forward for Collingwood, and that's simply what he is. Turning to the crowd and shushing the crowd after 3 good games in your career, I don't think that warrants a celebration like that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
Agree.
good on him for stepping up when he needs to, but I don't think that from his performances that I don't know what word to describe it, but I don't think that it allows for him to celebrate like that, considering that he's only had 3 good games in his career.
Yeah.
How
That's
about Myercheck's goal near the end?
Yeah,
That was
the biggest fluke ever.
It was awesome though. It was a great
It
kick.
was a good goal.
Never knew that. Of course, the big Ryan versus Maynard, Matho.
Yeah, obviously. I think after the game, Liam Ryan put it on his story, a lot of respect for Braden Maynard. I think that battle, a lot of people do look forward to. Obviously started in the 2018 grand final when Ryan lined him up in the middle of the ground and got him a good rib shot.
Mm-hmm.
All game, getting into each other. Who do you reckon won besides the teams winning? Who do you reckon won the one-on-one individual battle?
Ryan, hands down. Maynard was poor that game. Maynard almost cost him the game with that second last goal when he tried to run around one of the players and got tackled, and then they kicked the goal from that. It's a different story. If West Coast go on and win the game, Maynard's, a shocking football loss, cost him the game. Ryan's hit his head. Ryan's dominated him. But
I'd have to agree with that. If West Coast win, then Maynard looks terrible. But now that Collingwood win, everyone said that Maynard wins the one-on-one battle. But overall, Maynard, because you've got to count in the win, so he's the last one laughing
win
in that battle.
Win aside.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. If it is win aside, then Ryan wins.
You don't see the scoreboard.
Yeah, but if you're counting win, then Maynard gets the last laugh.
Obviously,
we're not counting win.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just said win aside, Ryan wins. Win included.
So don't say win included. We don't need the win included. Yeah, I was asking a question, win aside.
And I answered it, and I said the opposite side.
Yeah, you didn't need to say the opposite side.
All right.
That's right. And how about this one, boys? This was, one of the strangest things that I definitely picked up on before any of the, commentators I picked on. The Darcy Cameron in the centre bounce at the start of pretty much every quarter, and not Brody Grundy. And every time they did that, Nick Nat-Nui won the hit out, won the clearance, and they scored the goal. So,
I think
this There's some rumours that he's injured, but like, don't know what Buckley's idea is with that.
It was a weird thing. I think after the first time, he probably wouldn't go ahead and do it again. But
And he kept doing
big
it
ball,
like they
yeah.
scored the goal, and then Grundy coming onto the field. No, Cameron will take the next one. Oh, what happened? I knew we wanted another clearance. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was big
Interesting
balls
coaching.
It's big balls to consist with that Darcy Cameron in the middle.
Mm.
But I suppose Brodie Grundy, he had a good game, but I don't think he was massive for Collingwood.
Not a new he dominated.
No,
Yeah.
I knew he got the 10 coaches votes in the Gary.
Yeah.
The thing
medal,
is,
so.
if that happened and Collingwood didn't win, Buckley would get
looks like an
absolutely
idiot. Yeah.
slanted for that, unless he's injured.
Mhm.
But if they lose that game, that is one of the worst coaching decisions I've seen.
Yeah.
But they win it, so
Mhm.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Lads, do we reckon that is a waste of a season for West Coast?
yeah, absolute waste. Crybaby.
I really thought
yeah,
they'd win the premiership, but
So, yeah, I guess I think they just got too arrogant at home, thinking,
Yeah, definitely.
We'll go beat Collingwood. We beat them by 50 points last time.
you can't go into a game against any AFL side in the finals saying that, really.
Yeah, I think they were going to lose anyway if they did win this game, just because of their record away from home and their attitude towards it. You know, all a bunch of whiners when they had to sit up in Gold Coast. You know,
Yeah,
exactly.
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Good week
then.
next week, though.
Yeah.
First semi-final. Who was it? It's Richmond versus St Kilda on the Friday night. Well, just what's our tip for that one?
I think with St Kilda's out, it's Richmond comfortably, but I would love for St Kilda to somehow pull it from out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I actually said Richmond were going to win earlier in this podcast sometime, but I don't know what's hit me, and I don't know, maybe it's just the Paddy Ryder speaking. But even though he's not playing, I reckon Saints are going to win it. I reckon. I don't have any logic behind it, but it's
I hope your big call has come through here.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for a draw.
Yeah, I'm hoping
your draw calls come through. I'm hoping you're thinking like that. It's all come through. It's all building up to this.
Saints are going to win, lads.
But no, I don't. They will. And
who plays in the ruck for Paddy Ryder?
No one.
Marshall.
Yeah,
they just have one ruckman.
Yeah,
Marshall's a star, though.
He's a good player.
Yeah,
I love Marshall at Brisbane. I think he's
better than Richmond's ruckmans.
Yeah,
I don't. Paddy Ryder obviously is a big out, but Rowan Marshall, I think, is still better than Nank the Tank.
Yeah.
Just having that too, it just works so well for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, but I think Richmond win by about 40.
On the Saints.
But it's interesting playing the game at Metricon Stadium.
Yeah, that's weird.
You know, of course, Hardwick after the game said it's because it's only 400 meters from our hotel. But you know, I think you'd rather get some more experience on the Gabba, considering you're gonna have to play there.
Yeah, exactly.
In the grand final, if you beat Port Adelaide, so interesting one, but you know,
interesting selection, but each to their own.
I don't think it will matter if I'm being honest.
They played a fair few games at Metricon, though, didn't they? To be fair.
Well, I think St Kilda would have played the most games out of any Melbourne side at the Gabba, because they played so many games at the Gabba. So unless that plays something into it, but you know,
maybe Richmond knew something. Oh wait, no. Yeah, maybe Richmond knew something that no one else did. They knew St Kilda was going to get up.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So they chose Metricon because they knew St Kilda played a lot at the Gabba.
They're going to get up anyway. Don't stress.
Conspiracy theory.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And now on to the Saturday night game, which is going to be an absolute beauty. Geelong versus Collingwood. What's the tips of this one?
I think this is going to be either a real big blowout or a very, very close, tight game. I don't think it's going to be a comfortable win, but I think Collingwood either a big blowout or Geelong in a close one. I can't see Geelong smashing them.
I'm saying Collingwood win. This with their form and their confidence, and I don't think Geelong that good. So
they'll be on a roll, especially after Geelong losing last week. I'm really struggling. Do I go with not the favourite again and then have everyone last week not the favourites winning it, or in my opinion, not the favourites winning it, and then this week as well. Nah, I'm going for Geelong. I reckon Cats win. Hawkins kick 6.
Yeah, if Hawkins turns
if he
up,
kicks a bag,
they win.
Yeah, I agree.
Easily.
And if Cox does nothing as well, I think they need. I think last game I said to Jed, if Cox and DeGoey turn up, then they win before the game. And I think it has to be the exact same thing this week. I think those two got to kick 6 combined for Collingwood to win for me.
Yeah. Obviously, Joel Selwood got a late test on Friday with his surgery on his finger.
He'll play.
I can't see him. Yeah, can't see him missing the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it will be a very, very close game. I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Radical Lear gets a call up into the team, because the problem with Geelong is that they don't want to kick the ball down the line, because Hawkins obviously sitting back trying to get isolated one-on-one, and they just couldn't get the ball out of the back half because their second tall is Gary Rowan. Gary Rowan was never hit the mark in his life. So,
to be fair, the other night I think Geelong moved the ball a lot better than what Port Adelaide did, but Port Adelaide just moved it a lot faster than what they did.
Yeah, sort of.
I reckon Rowan's going to kick 3 goals.
No, Rowan will have 7 disposals, no impact on the game.
I've got a feeling 3 goals.
Jacko has something out for Gary Rowan.
No, he does suck in the fight. History says he does suck in the finals.
Gary Rowan's up there with one of the most hated players at the comp.
It's in the top 10?
He's in the top 10, actually. So,
what do you just hate him from Sydney and Hawthorn because you're obviously your team Hawthorn?
No, I hate him because he never did anything at Sydney. I just hate him because people think he's a good player. When it comes to the big stage, he doesn't perform. So,
I do agree with that. It sucks in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Always has.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning into the JLJ podcast. Get very excited. In 2 weeks' time, the JLJ Brownlow will be here. And it's going to be an absolutely massive episode. The suits will be on. Ties will be on. It's going to be
corporate week.
Absolutely corporate week. It's going to be a massive episode. So make sure you get excited for that. Like and subscribe, and see you guys.
See ya.